Two Rivers Talks is brought to you by Two Rivers Biz Starts. Also by Two Rivers Main Street. And by Raleigh Point Economic Advising. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello and welcome everybody to Two Rivers Talks with Darla Todd. I'm the Todd part of that equation. This is Darla. Hello everybody. We're so glad you could join us. The Two Rivers Talks podcast is for anybody who used to be from Two Rivers, currently lives in Two Rivers, is thinking about moving to Two Rivers. We talk about all the fun, arts, economic development, anything that's basically intersects with the town and helps tell the story of like why this is a great place to live and why we love it so much.
Absolutely.
So we're glad you've joined us. We have a really fantastic episode lined up for today. There's some really cool stuff coming up. For any of you who happen to be here in or around Two Rivers about a week or so ago with the big storm that came through and the power outages and everything, we have a really interesting story from friend of the show,
right.
Lee Hansen of Seeds and Beans. A little story about some flag rescue that he engaged in with a lot of really civic-minded volunteers, not just from Two Rivers, but people who came to Two Rivers specifically to help with some of the cleanup. So we're going to have a really terrific story about that. And then who else we have?
I interviewed Mr. Joe Durand and his talented 9-year-old daughter, Malila, who has some artwork hanging in the gallery.
She did the wonderful apple picture, right?
Yeah,
okay.
It's like one of my favorite pieces that's in here right now. And they are residents of Fifield, Wisconsin, which is pretty far up north. I think it takes them maybe 2 hours, 45 minutes, 3 hours to get to Two Rivers.
Okay.
But that's their home base. But Joe and Malila spend their summers in Two Rivers. And we wanted them on the show so they could kind of help explain what it is about Two Rivers that they find really appealing and why they keep coming back, year after year. They spend so much time here. And they're just really cool people, very good friends. And I always enjoy it when they come into town.
That's awesome. Nice.
And then we'll also be, visiting with Mr. Roger Rusov during our Main Street Minute segment, which have gotten really silly, but a lot of fun, and you get a lot of information. So now, Todd, take it away with Word of the Day.
So the word of the day is something to do with being favorable or promoting one's health, being healthful.
Okay.
Have you heard the term that it is salubrious?
I have actually.
Drinking several glasses of water a day is salubrious.
It's even more salubrious.
What's that?
Drinking several glasses of wine a day.
That could very well be. Actually, that's been associated with
exactly
long life, and
that's why I own stock.
Very nice.
I do.
Nice.
And it far beats what I have in here as the example.
I kind of like this example.
It is kind of cool. The air of Allenby is highly salubrious and conducive to longevity.
It's like the rain in Spain falls mainly
I
in the plain. The air of Allenby is highly salubrious and conducive to longevity. Very good, very good. So salubrious, Salubrious. Salubrious.
Yes.
I had to look. I never competed with spelling bee. I'd be terrible at that. But anyways, turning to the news.
Yes.
What's going on, Darla?
The first thing up is the RAR West Art Museum annual exhibit calls for works by community artists. Each year, the RAR West Art Museum takes time to highlight the phenomenal artistic talents of our community. This year, the exhibition will take place August 25th through September 25th. Artwork in all forms will be on display, including paintings, photography, woodwork, jewelry, and more. Additionally, many of the pieces will also be for sale. An opening reception will be held Sunday, August the 25th at 1 p.m. at the museum. All are invited to attend. Works must be submitted along with appropriate forms the week of August 13th. So that's about 2 weeks out. If you're an artist and you want to participate, start preparing now. For more information, contact the Rar West Museum. And I do have a link in the show notes.
Okay.
So they can go right to their website.
Excellent. This next one, I'm really excited about this. Colin Mockery, the comedian, if you ever watch like the old Whose Line Is It Anyway shows, really funny show, really talented guy. He's going to be opening Bali Industrial Marquee season at the Capitol on October the 26th.
Right.
It's going to be a great show. The famed comedian from Whose Line Is It Anyway will be opening up in October. Mockery is going to present something called Hyprov, Hyprov. Hyprov, improv under hypnosis, featuring master hypnotist Asad Mechi on Saturday, October the 26th. 20 random volunteers from the audience will be put under hypnosis by Mechi, and some of the 5 best will remain on stage as the very talented Colin Mockery joins them to do some improv. That sounds so fun.
I know.
Doors are going to open at 6:30 for the 7 o'clock show. Tickets are going to range between $37 up to about $57 and can be bought at the Capitol box office or online at cccshows.com.
Right. And I would suggest that if you have an opportunity to go and see this, it's been several years now, but my family and I went to see Colin Mockery and Brad Sherwood from the same show.
Oh, okay.
And it's a good show, and it was at the Capitol.
Were you hypnotized on stage?
No, they didn't. It wasn't hypnosis.
Oh, okay.
It was pretty well straightforward improv, but with a lot of, there was, shout outs from the audience.
Sure.
Because they'd be, I'm looking for a occupation, and all of a sudden you've got camel jockey or something, Okay. But at the end of the show, they closed it out, and you're at a good show when you have the two improv dudes putting on blindfolds, taking off their shoes, and trying to do improv as they blindly make their way around mousetraps.
Oh.
Yeah, there was a lot of snapping and swearing and a lot of yelps of pain, and it was hysterical. But they both seemed to maintain their composure during the trials and tribulations of being a comedian.
That is hilarious.
So make sure you get over to the CCC.
Well, speaking of the trials and tribulations of city government, the Two Rivers City... I
love that,
The Two Rivers City Council is going to be meeting on Monday, August the 19th at 6 p.m. As usual, in the council chambers, 3rd floor City Hall. If you don't know how to get there, find a way. The agenda is going to be posted online for that. There's something to do with the Twin Rivers Water Trail? What is that?
Yes. It's a Twin Rivers Water Trail is a community initiative project to bring project to bring greater attention to and usage of the East and West Twin Rivers. Citizens of Two Rivers and Mishicot teamed up to develop a series of canoe and kayak launch sites, a water trail map, and other amenities to promote the recreational use and educational opportunities that the Two Rivers provide. The Twin Rivers Water Trail promotes the development and safe use of a water trail for human-powered watercraft along both of the rivers. It spotlights the rich natural habitat and cultural history in and around the rivers, and develops further partnerships for projects maintenance, volunteer opportunities, public events, and trail stewardship. And click the link in the show notes for more information. But this would be a fantastic way to get out into nature, help support the community, become involved, and being on the waterways is fun. It's just fun, and there's already been a lot of effort that's been put into it. Let's keep the momentum going.
Yes, absolutely. I'm really excited about this last piece here.
Okay.
Very proud to say that my friend Darla was published in the HTR. If you haven't seen the article, you can go check it out online. We'll have a link down in the show notes to it, but it's titled "What is a Basil Ishkabibble?" and it's all about the art gallery and the mission of the gallery. And in the article, Darla talks about the Main Street Art in Central Park, promoting tourism on radio in Chicago. And this is you've had 2 interviews down there.
That was our
with those
third
guys.
one.
Third. Holy cow!
Yeah.
Wow. So really great visibility for the community and
Right.
for the gallery. Both are good. Rising tide raises all ships.
Right.
And then you put in some plugs for Two Rivers Talks too.
I sure
which was
did.
really cool. So the digital version of that dropped on Wednesday, July the 30th. So it's up there online for anybody who wants to see it. And it was also published in the print version of the HTR on Thursday, August the 1st. It was written for Art Forward, which is a weekly column by the Manitowoc Public Arts Committee.
Right.
So congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that coverage. That's really nice. It was a really, really nice, well-written article.
Thank you.
And I'm sure everybody's going to want to check it out, read it.
I hope so.
Put a thumbs up on your Facebook feed and come in and
That
visit
would
the
be
shop.
nice. Absolutely. And, you know, the impetus of Basil Ishkabibbles isn't just to sell art. It's to help promote the people who live here. When I do get out and about in the community and elsewhere, I just don't talk about, here's what I have. It's, here's what we've got. And right now, I mean, we have some of the strongest champions for Two Rivers down in the Chicago area. And he's a great fan. Bill Turk is one of the co-hosts of Two Rivers Talks.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got to give him a shout out along with Carrie Kendall, who is his better half. We're kind of like we're the northern portion,
We're the
you know,
Northerners.
and
Nice.
and they're kind of cool. She dresses better than me. She's petite. So anyway, she's got me beat. So
Very cool. Well, I think it was wonderful. So
Oh, thank you.
So congratulations on that, and more in the future. I'm
Absolutely.
Sure. You mean you're not in this to make money? I mean,
it ain't happening. No, I just
you're not getting rich here. Wait, what's going on?
it ain't happening.
Yeah, I mean, I know this is you do this for the community, and out of love for art and
Right.
to support the artists in the area. So, any chance to plug your gallery, I always take it.
Thank you.
I'm really glad for all you're doing for the city
I
and
enjoy it.
for the arts community here.
I really enjoy it. So, and now with Two Rivers Biz Starts,
Yes.
what's going on with Biz Starts?
Well, so we had a great meeting a week ago. Last Wednesday.
Okay.
So we had actually the executive director for BizStarts came up, Mr. Patrick Schneider, and we had a great showing for the meeting. Just a lot of people came from government, from a number of entrepreneurs
Right.
in the city, and we were just kind of talking about the resources that BizStarts has to offer, what we've done over the past year. I put together a short little video piece to just kind
Okay.
of talk about the number of business owners and entrepreneurs that we've touched or helped within the last year. The Light Up the Lakeshore Business Competition that we worked with Jeff Soxie of Raleigh
Right.
Economic Advising, and then also the new business startups. Basil Ishkabibble is among them to make a positive impact on the economy here in the area. So it was really good. I think Patrick left with a lot of positivity. I've been down and had a lunch with him in Milwaukee
Okay, good.
since that time. He was really hot on what we were doing. So
Good.
very, very supportive. Now we have another meeting in August, late this month.
Okay.
It's the fourth Wednesday. We're changing it up a little bit this time. Instead of meeting in the evening at the Leicester Public Library,
Right.
we're going to do a lunchtime networking event. So if you're a local business owner, you get out for lunch, take a little time, come and do this networking event. We're just going to have a casual lunch, get together, talk about business issues, do a little bit of exchange of cards, just kind of talk about what kind of challenges face you as an entrepreneur or a small business owner in the area, and we'll have a lot of the resources and handouts and things that are available from BizStarts there to talk about, and give a little bit of a commercial about what we do. Basically, it's to try to again raise a little bit more awareness about this free program
Right.
that is always going to be free,
Right.
and that is here to support people as they're trying to get a business off the ground. And one of the things that struck me at the last meeting, so Jessie, who runs Fatso's
Right.
subs in the area, she brought in this really neat Yeti thermal mug.
Right.
It was like blinged out with her name on it. It was really cool. And she said, this was made by somebody here in Two Rivers, and I don't even know what her business. She showed me her Facebook page, and it's like, why is this person not doing a bigger business?
Right.
because it was an amazing, high quality product. It was so personalized and,
Right.
and so kind of cool. So like I know there are a lot of entrepreneurs out there in the city who want to do more. You know, they want to get out of their basement. They want to do something that
Right.
maybe it's a side hustle or maybe it's something they want to make their main business. But they may not know about BizStarts. It's something that's there as a resource for them to help them out. And so we're just trying to do outreach. And so by doing some other kinds of events and not just doing things on Wednesday evening in the library, we want to kind of get out into the community a little bit more. So look for some other things through the end of the year.
Okay, and that's going to be on a Wednesday?
It's going to be on a Wednesday.
Far
Yep.
out, because my gallery is closed Sundays and Wednesdays.
Okay.
So I'll be able to come, and I will tape
That would be fantastic.
for you. We'll
Yeah.
see how, just how everything just organically happens,
Yeah.
But I'll try and get decent footage for you.
We're going to hold it, we're going to do the basement of Kurtz's.
Okay.
So it's kind of a little
Oh, the
casual area.
dungeon.
Down in the dungeon, yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, good footage down there.
There you go.
Well, I'm looking
Bring the
forward
lights,
to it.
right?
Yeah, really. Bring your flashlight.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good idea. You have to swap stuff up, and people are available at different times of the day, and maybe the evening doesn't work so well for somebody who really, really wants to go.
Right.
And then, but this is a nice social. It's a different atmosphere. It's very social, and just having really good conversation. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be getting a lot more out of a conversation in a bar and restaurant at a conference that you're attending than you are from from a speech.
Yeah, right.
So
exactly.
it's that interaction between people.
Well, I've always believed that. I mean, I think we learn a lot more from each other, than something
Right.
than just a talking head that's getting up and off, right?
It-
Stuff, so-
Oh, absolutely. For Leicester Public Library, some adult events that are coming up: card making class, Tech Tuesdays. Here's a new one: French conversation.
Ooh,
Yeah.
là là. Parlez-vous
Oui.
français?
No.
Comment allez-vous aujourd'hui?
What?
Comment allez-vous aujourd'hui?
Schweinhut mit Schlagsahne. That's the only thing I can remember from taking German, and it means pig dog with whipped cream.
What?
So I cannot explain that one, but that's what that means. I do not. I do not speak French. Paper
great.
flowers is another thing that's coming up for adults at the library, and of course the reoccurring poetry open mic.
You should go and use that French phrase at the poetry open mic and just kind of like drop the microphone.
What does it mean? Something really rude?
No, I don't know.
Oh.
Maybe it just
Okay.
it sounded kind of poetic to me. That's all. Teen programs, right? Moving right along. Recurring events. We've got the Book Nerds video. I think that's Steam Camp.
Oh yeah, it's not
Yeah,
Stream
it came in a
Camp.
Stream Camp. Wait, I don't know what that is. But Steam Camp and
Steam Camp,
It's kind of
yes.
a little steampunk kind of theme. And then youth programs. We have Carnival and Brat Fry. That's going to be cool.
Right,
And then the Lego Challenger and Baby Garden.
right.
Right.
At the Two Rivers Senior Center, Knit and Stitch, Frustration Dice, which I don't
know what that
understand
is.
why they would want to be frustrated. They're already on high blood pressure medication. Why do you want to?
You
Why do
should
you want to
have,
exacerbate a condition?
Should have like chill out dice.
Yeah, chill out dice. Hang loose. Exactly. Golf, and I don't know if that's indoor like putting or if they're going to a golf
course,
range.
right.
I'm not
Okay.
really sure.
Okay.
And then of course their Monday movie matinee.
Okay. And then at Two Rivers Parks and Rec, some upcoming events include an acoustic concert at Nashotah Beach, Cold Soda Club at Nashotah Beach, Hannah Rose in Central Park, and Bella Music in Central Park.
Right.
So a lot of cool stuff coming up through the Parks and Rec department.
There is. And just remember that all like the Senior Center and Two Rivers Parks and Rec, they have fantastic Facebook pages. You can also access them online on the web.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get so much more information because there's so much going on. We can't report it all here. There's just two things that I wanted to add on before we get over to Mr. Roger Rusov with the Main Street Minute. But, I love my analytics. Took a look this morning to see how many views we'd gotten on our last well, it would be episode 16, the one with Screamin' Conants with Emily Ristican.
Yes.
And we're up to 592.
Very nice.
Which for us is phenomenal.
It's really great.
I can't believe it. And it's really neat because you go into the analytics and there's a graph and you can actually see people watching it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, this is so cool.
It's real time, right?
Yeah. So, that's what I do in my spare time is I watch people watch things.
Yes, our audience, few but fit.
Yeah. And then the last thing is, I think it was episode 16 or it might have been 17. We've done so many now that I tend to get a bit confused. But we were talking about the fact that Parks and Rec was going to have movies on the beach and planned on showing Jaws.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
So at the end of that little segment of us talking about that, you actually, because I am very gullible, had me believing that there's actually freshwater sharks in Lake Michigan.
What?
Yeah. And so anyway, but I just wanted to tell you that I saw this this article yesterday. 10-year-old Franklin boy bitten by fish. A fish apparently turned the tables on a 10-year-old Franklin boy and bit him. AJ Campion had to have 16 stitches in his leg.
That was not a nibble.
No.
That was a bite.
That was a bite. To close the big gash he suffered while he was in Fox Lake in Dodge County. His mother did some research, and Wendy Campion thinks her son was bitten by a muskie. An expert says a muskie biting a human being is a rare event, and it likely mistook the boy's leg for food. So, point being, we might not have Jaws in Lake Michigan, but there are predators. So be very, very careful. And I don't even feel like going in the water now. I don't want to get bit by anything.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Exactly.
Thank you for sharing that. That's great.
You're
That's
welcome.
great.
I just thought that was. See, you were closing in on the joke.
We live in a mysterious universe, and all
do.
kinds of crazy things can happen. And
It was a muskie with a grudge.
Or was it? Maybe it was a shark let loose in the waters of Lake Michigan.
Anyway, ending on that note, which was a very sour note. Sorry. Up next is Mr. Roger Russov with Main Street Minute, which is more like a Main Street half hour.
But it's a good half hour.
But it's a good half hour, and we have a lot of fun, a lot of valuable information. So please stay tuned, and Todd and I will be back with our buddy Roger. Yep, nope. Like your shoes.
Thank you.
Those are
Slip-ons.
pretty stylish.
Yeah, I got them down at shoe down in Milwaukee.
Fake laces.
Yeah,
You're turning into an old dude.
I am.
Now that just got recorded.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Part of our outtakes.
Goodbye. Damn kids, get off my lawn. All right. And we're back. It's that time of our episode where we meet with our favorite guy from Main Street, Two Rivers, Mr. Roger Russo, director of Two Rivers Main Street. I'll get it right this time.
All right. So how many different guys from Main Street do you meet with that I'm your favorite?
You know, there's the imaginary ones in my head, and there's probably others. Anyways.
So I'm better than your imagination. That's pretty awesome. All right.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
That is so tacky.
Welcome back, Roger. How have you been?
I've been great. How about you guys?
Doing really well.
Good.
Really well.
Good.
You're going to scare him away. We'll never see him again.
No,
Oh, this is way too much fun.
So, you came to tell us a little bit about Brew Dash, right?
Yes. We just recently had our 6th annual Brew Dash. It's a 5K run walk. It starts and ends at Central Park in front of City Hall. And the route is great. You know, it was a hot day the Saturday of the event, and people love, right down through the beach on the path down there and through Minnesota Park. And over the 17th Street Bridge twice, so it's really a very scenic route, and that's one of the things people really like about it. And the other thing people like about it on a nice hot day is sampling beer after they're done.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they like that.
And
I don't think anybody was like, yeah, maybe I'll do that later, right?
we had a couple actually.
Really?
Yeah, there's always a couple that don't do that for whatever reason. And that's fine.
Teetotalers.
And
No.
you know, of course, we have a couple of younger people that participate in the race that
Oh, of course.
aren't legally allowed to sample
Very good.
the
Right.
fermented malt beverages, as they say.
Yes.
But we had 116 people participate this year, which is a good number. It's a very comfortable number for the course and everything, and everybody had a lot of fun.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Where was the starting point?
It's right in front of the front door on East Park Street of City Hall. That's where it starts and ends.
Okay.
So it leaves there and turns onto 17th Street and goes out over the bridge, goes down past the Harbor Park and the Coast Guard Museum, and then works its way up the beach.
Okay.
Goes north of 22nd Street a little bit into that housing area up there, on Lake Street, and then comes back through the park on Pierce Court, and comes back over the 17th Street Bridge and ends up right where it started.
Okay.
That's fine.
I for some reason I just assumed that it got more into the forested area,
No,
but we don't. But it's mainly beach and then back.
it's only a 5K run, which is about 3 miles, so it's not.
Okay.
It doesn't spread out any further than
Okay.
that. And we've talked about lengthening it a couple times, but people like the route a lot, and frankly, I think people appreciate the fact that they can get done and enjoy them.
Right.
Some frosty fermented malt
Right.
beverages
Yes,
in the
yes.
park. Yeah.
How did it go with Manti Malters?
It went great. They had 5 different beers here.
Oh, fun.
Yes, it was, and you know, again, these are people that make beer at home.
Sure.
They can't legally sell it. The only way that they can get it into the hands of other people is to go places and have them sample it. And they had a very good stout. They had a tropical stout, they referred to it, and it's a beer that one of the guys in the club has made on and off for quite a while, and had to take a couple years off because they use a particular hop in it that gives you a little bit of a coconut flavor.
Ooh.
And they couldn't find the hops for a couple of years, so he couldn't make that particular beer for a couple of years.
Okay, sure.
Then we had beer here from Copper State in Green Bay, Capital Brewing in Madison, and Three Sheeps down in Sheboygan. A variety of things from a pomegranate sour to a couple different IPAs. Just a wide variety of options for the discerning palate.
I was gonna say, it sounds like a broad array of choices for the beer gourmand in your life, right? Yes.
Yes, very well put, very well put. And probably the most, if you want to call it basic beer we had, was something called Supper Club. That's made by Capital Brewing. Their brewery is located in Middleton, Wisconsin, next to Madison. And I happened to tour Capital Brewing right when that beer was coming out. And their brewmaster is the one who did our tour, and he said that the recipe, and he spent about 1.5 years developing that particular recipe. And what he was trying to do, in his words, now not mine, was make beer that tasted like what Budweiser and Miller did when they used to make real beer.
Oh, okay.
So going back into the 70s before everything became like this and like that and
Yeah.
ultra this and low carb that, when they made real beer yet, as he put it. And it's very good. It's a great, I'm doing a sales pitch here, I guess, but it's back when it came out, we used to camp a lot. It's a perfect campfire beer.
Really?
Because it's not real strong, it's not overpowering taste-wise, but it's got great flavor, and it's something you can sit around the campfire for 3 or 4 hours and just
That's all right.
drink and then go sit in your camper. It's like,
A little bit of R&R, and you don't have to worry about
yep,
getting home because you are home
yes,
and enjoying yourself.
yes.
But I on occasion I do enjoy beer. I'm not a big, well, you could just ask my buddy here. I'm not a big beer drinker. I am more of a wino. So, truth be told, right?
Low the battle cry, Chardonnay!
Yeah. Exactly. But I do enjoy a good beer where there's a lot of flavor. And back in the earlier days, back when I was in high school, I enjoyed beer. But that was the 70s. That's back when, beer were beer and beer was beer and men were men and, the world was right. And it's like, and then all of a sudden all this light stuff comes out like you're talking about and it was like gross. I just don't enjoy it. But I love stouts. I like something that's got a real strong flavor. Hockershore, I enjoy that. I like that heaviness to it. So I was over here working that day, and I wish I had gone over and tasted some of the pomegranate one sounds super interesting, and the coconutty flavored one would have been interesting to try.
Yeah, it's fascinating the different things that you can find buying beer these days.
Okay.
For those of you who just tuned in, this has been the Beer World Podcast.
Yeah. You're on the wrong channel.
No, that's awesome. I wish I got a chance to try some of those. It sounded really fun. Any other standout moments from the event?
Well, it was very interesting to us that one of the top 3 finishers, female finishers, was from Washington, D.C.
Oh.
And one of the top 3 male finishers was from Crystal Lake, Illinois.
Okay.
And I did get a chance to talk to her, and they were in the area visiting friends, and she kind of spur of the moment decided to do this.
Oh yeah.
I didn't get a chance to talk to him because he didn't stick around for the plaque presentations.
Sure.
It was kind of a hit and run thing for him because they were just passing through.
Okay.
But yeah, and it's kind of neat to see people from outside the area come, and we probably had, if I had to take a guess, probably 25% were first timers to the event, and a fair amount of those people were frankly also in the area for the first time, and that's one of the great things about events like that. I mean, the Brew Dash is an event that really doesn't get people into businesses downtown, but it gets people to see the community, see the gorgeous beach that we have, and it's really a great way to showcase Two Rivers.
Oh, that's excellent. Yeah. Well. Anything else that you'd like to share with us today?
Yeah, I'd like to talk a little bit about something that recently happened. We had a visit from the Lieutenant Governor, Mandela Barnes, and the primary reason for his visit was the unveiling of the Cobblestone Inn Hotel that's going to be going up on Jefferson and 16th Streets. We're shooting for a late August or early September groundbreaking, and if the weather's friendly to us, which of course around here you never know, hopefully an April opening next year.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yes.
And a 55-room hotel.
Yep.
Four floors.
Yes.
Top floor is going to have a conference room in it, or like a meeting space.
Yes. He took the owners took the south end of the top floor, and they're basically combining 2 rooms into one larger meeting room, and added extra windows so that you would be up there, and of course at south end you'll be able to see Harbor Park and the Coast Guard station and all over the lake. And it's obviously it's not going to hold a lot of people, but if somebody's having a meeting of 15 or 20 people or something like that, the room is a perfect size for something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
And another I think a really special touch that they did. They are going to have a bar at the hotel. And they also will have a breakfast room, like just about all hotels do now. The continental breakfast thing. Well, this facility is going to have an exit from that room where both of those 2 things are into an enclosed patio area on the east side of the building. So again, you'll be able to get a cup of coffee and a bagel in the morning, or a drink at night, and go sit outside there. They're going to have a gas fireplace to help keep the area warm.
I saw that on the plan. Yeah, it looks really neat.
Yeah, and again, that particular location will let you look right out over Harbor Park. You can see the 17th Street Bridge and the entrance into the harbor from Lake Michigan and everything. Some great views.
Well, and I wonder if maybe they'll even do a little bit of grilling out and stuff there for special events.
I don't know the answer to that yet.
I'm just thinking ahead. Maybe we can have some beer. People come in and, okay, I'm going back to where we were before.
Yeah.
Anyways, I got a little excited there. Anyways, no, it's really cool, and I wonder if he would maybe be willing to have us come in to do a broadcast from the top of the cobblestone at some point. Maybe we can ask him about that.
The top of the cob?
Top of the cob. Love it.
I would think he'd be very willing to do that once he is either open or gets ready to open in spring of next year.
Yeah.
And I really hope that the timing works out, that April or early May date is hit, because we've got, obviously, we get to Memorial Day and between the holiday weekend and all of the events, there's so many opportunities for people to stay here in Two Rivers now instead of potentially going to Manitowoc and choosing to stay in Manitowoc, because now we have more rooms. And it's going to be great for the retail stores downtown. It's going to be great for the restaurants downtown.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Really looking forward to that getting open.
Yeah, no, it's super exciting news. We're hoping maybe we can get Rick on the show at some point and talk a little bit about the project, because I could just see the enthusiasm bursting out from him when he was there.
Yep.
But by the way, congratulations to you. I know that the proclamation from the Lieutenant Governor got handed to you directly, for that, and it's a nice moment for Main Street, and definitely a nice moment for the city too.
Absolutely, and the Wisconsin Main Street Day now is fairly new. This is only the third year that they've done that, and the Wisconsin Main Street office looks at it as a way to showcase the communities that are part of the state Main Street program. There are 34 Main Street communities in the state, and it's great to be chosen one of the 5 or 6 that has a project that's worthy of showcasing on a day like that. And to have the Lieutenant Governor come here too and make an appearance at the event was also pretty awesome.
Well, very cool. In fact, because I think we made quite an impression on him based on just sort of observing. I was watching, a lot of the show, and he loved Emily Ristican, and sort of kind of cracked up as he was talking about the Screaming Conut, which was hilarious. And I think he went back and he probably told people in the Capitol about, hey, there's this town Two Rivers, and it's pretty neat. And there's a lot of cool stuff happening over there.
And I think he did. I think he really enjoyed his visit, and there was a gentleman here from the Wisconsin Main Street office, as well as somebody here from the WEDC, and I hope that, and Joe, of course,
The Wisconsin Economic Development Council.
Yes, I'm sorry.
For those of you playing along at home.
Yes, sorry about that. And Joe Onasak, who is a design specialist for Wisconsin Main Street, is the one that was here. He's been here many times before, because he's been with the Wisconsin Main Street office for over 10 years. The other gentleman that was here is fairly new, so this was a either first or second experience of visiting Two Rivers, and he left with some very positive impressions of the community too. And
that's awesome.
And Greg Buckley, our city manager, of course, did a great job of pulling Mandela Barnes, the Lieutenant Governor, off to the side at one point and talking a little bit about the Thermal Fisher property, and also pulled Joe Lonasak, the design guy, off to the side and talked to him a little bit about the pump house on the by the water treatment plant and some other things. And Joe, being Joe, probably took 200 pictures while he was here of various different things.
That's
and
good.
Yes, it is.
I would love to see that get revamped. It is so cool inside.
It's really neat in there.
Yes.
Yeah, we checked out the place at the same time, didn't we?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you, me, and Jeff Soxie were over there, and
yes, and because it would be a great place for a half pipe for indoor skateboarding,
or it'd be a great dance hall, or coffee house even, or whatever, right? Yeah.
Or even just some sort of a trailhead type building for the end of the Mariners Trail, and maybe that becomes a place where somebody goes to rent a kayak or a bike all in one place, that type of thing. And there's a long ways to go with the building. There's a lot of things that basic needs like restrooms that aren't in the building right now. And things like that would have to be added, and parking is an issue there too.
Yeah,
parking but it is a neat
huge.
building.
But I know that they'd already done testing of, because the paint inside is chipping off. They did test that for it's not lead-based paint. Okay. Cleanup wouldn't be a huge issue. Asbestos, I don't think was an issue. But it would be so nice it's such a unique building.
It is. Beautiful architecture.
And it's got all of the old switch gear.
Oh my gosh.
In it that is
the analog dials and the electrical, kind of
Right. And that would be cool just to have it stay, clean it up, it stay.
That'd be a freaking awesome movie set or something for something when I was in LA a couple of years ago, and there was a shop that was dedicated to just sort of retro, equipment and stuff, like
Okay.
like a mad scientist lair and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
Like that equipment would be like they would like completely go nuts to see some of the cool stuff that's in there, and it's in really good shape. Too.
It is, yeah. The old blade switches.
The
I mean,
switches,
it's just
dials, like you can just say full power. You know,
Yeah.
Kind of throw the switch. Like literally, there's the switch to throw.
No,
It's
if you're
really cool.
grounded at the time.
Well, details, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Tell us more, please, about Emily's ribbon cutting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there was a ribbon cutting held again when the Daily Lieutenant Governor was here at Screaming Conuts, and Emily had, when she opened there, Emily Ristikin, the now 18-year-old, we can't say 17-year-old business owner because she turned 18 months.
She's getting so old now.
Yes, she is.
Oh man, it's aging her.
yeah, really.
But when she opened, her initial hope was to open very quietly so that she could have her staff be comfortable.
Right.
Unfortunately,
Right.
there is no such thing as a quiet opening of a business in the social media age. I mean, it's
No.
and it was actually one of her relatives that had made the first Facebook post about her opening, if I remember correctly. And it's been things have been a little overwhelming for her at times ever since.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a great opportunity to get the community together to recognize the new business and again get some exposure outside of the area from the Lieutenant Governor and the people from the WEDC and such that were here and showcase the uniqueness of the product and the great job that she did renovating the building and everything like that. And it was good to see. It
I
was
think
good to
that's
see.
great.
And it's always fun to have some ice cream too. So
Oh, absolutely.
That too.
yes, yes.
So the next big thing, we've talked about it, is Ethnic Fest.
Coming up on September 21st. So, a little less than 2 months now, and plans are well along. As we've talked about, entertainment is fully booked, and that information is on the Main Street website at tworiversmainstreet.com.
Okay.
We're wrapping up some sponsorships right now for that event and working on final details. The early bird vendor deadline for craft and food vendors has just passed, but you can still get in if provided there's space. And if anybody has questions, they can contact me at the Main Street office to find out if we still have room. I know we still have craft vendor space left yet. We limit the number of food vendors that we have, so that is a little more iffy.
Okay.
And that's part of that process. Another week or two down the road is going to be, okay, this is how much space they need and figuring out how
Right.
much room we have.
What are you at right now as far as food vendors? Do you remember?
I think we have 23 that are committed right now.
Wow, that's cool.
That's good. I mean, that's adequate. That's
Yes.
more than adequate.
Yes,
A lot of choice.
it
Yeah.
is, and we had gone through a stretch of about 3 or 4 years where we had as many as 31 food vendors, and it was space became a problem, and electricity became a problem. So we've cut that back as time has gone on, and we found this number of 25. And if we manage the selections so that we don't have too much of any one thing,
Right.
it's a comfortable number for the event, and we see some turnover every year. We'll get some. We're going to have a gentleman from Manitowoc who's fairly new to the food truck business doing Korean tacos and other Korean food and things like that. That'll be here for the first time.
Really?
Yep. So we'll have some variety for people again,
Okay.
and some new things, and I think that's great for the event.
Yeah.
I think that's great. And I know, like, with your entertainment and everything, it's kind of branched out into more countries are represented now that hadn't been in the past. Our food is pretty representative of global cuisine. I love this event.
I do too. It's one of the longest standing major events in downtown Two Rivers. This is going to be the 28th year.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, Ethnic Fest actually predates Two Rivers Main Street. Two local women, Jackie Dickenshine and Nan Webster, are the ones that started it prior to Main Street. And it very quickly for them, and when they started it was really more to pay tribute to the French-Canadian heritage of Two Rivers.
Oh, sure.
But very quickly they realized what it could become beyond that, and in
Sure.
a few years they ran it. 4 years, I believe it was, before Main Street took it over.
Okay.
And they were ready to go on, to get out at that point. They had reached out to the Main Street Board of Directors and asked if Main Street would be willing and interested in taking the event over and moving it forward.
Okay.
And so Main Street's been running at 6.
So great.
Yeah, it is, and it's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to having the two of you
It's going to be
as our
blast.
stage
Yeah.
presence doing
Yeah.
the MC thing this year. It should be
We're trying to
interesting.
perfect our shtick.
We're working on our snappy patter and
Our
snappy patter.
and our soft shoe.
I don't think, based on watching these shows, I don't think you need a whole lot of work.
Oh.
I think that's there, and your how should I put this? Your ability to improvise and play off each other, I think, could fit very well on stage for this event.
Oh yeah. Well, I was gonna say he's gonna be doing the soft shoe.
Oh.
I'll be clog dancing.
Oh.
So.
It's a little known fact, but I'm actually just one of those little mannequin dolls, and she's got her hand up my back right now. And
This is a fake.
She's just throwing her in the waist. Yeah, that's a fake arm right there. Right.
Alrighty then. Alrighty then.
Roger, it's been a joy to have you on the show again. Really appreciate you coming back and keep coming back, I hope. And no, seriously, great to have you, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.
Sounds good. Thank you very much for
Thank
having
you.
me. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Roger. All right,
Thanks a lot.
and we'll be right back.
Hi and welcome back. I'm Darla. We're filming this on a Saturday and Todd was unable to be with us, so you're gonna have to just put up with me. But I'm here with my good friends Joe and Malila. And Joe, what is your last name again, please?
Durand.
Thank you. I keep wanting to call you Joe Hogan. I don't know
Really?
why. I don't know why. I don't even know a Joe Hogan. So Joe Durand and his daughter Malila, and we've talked about your painting on previous episodes, and actually it's been featured. So if you haven't seen our earlier episodes, it's the apple. And she's been kind enough to lend it to our gallery. It's not for sale, I'm sorry to say. And but we do have prints that are for sale, and actually been doing pretty good on those. I did have to get more ordered
Wow.
and printed off.
That's what I need.
Yeah, so that's just, and she's saving her money, the proceeds from the sale of prints, to buy herself a horse. So, the other day, and you were here, we sold 2.
Right.
That was $20 towards a horse. That's pretty darn good. So, are you happy about that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you think you're going to be what, about 50, 52 by the time you save up enough for a horse?
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, I hope it's a lot sooner than that. And would you like to introduce your dog?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your doggy's name?
Her name's Princess.
Princess? And how old is Princess?
She's 3.
Okay, she's really mellow. She's still a puppy pretty much.
Yeah.
She's pretty mellow.
Yeah, she's
She's good that
a
way.
good little girl.
Well, and she goes all over with you guys.
That's what
Oh yeah.
Right. And it wasn't until, what was it, yesterday or the day before, where I found out where you live, and that's in Fifield.
Fifield, Wisconsin. Yeah.
And can you tell everyone where exactly that is?
It's like an hour and 20 minutes south of Ashland, straight south on 13 and 70, cross street there. But yeah, a little north of Medford, like an hour
Okay.
north of Medford.
Is it quicker to get to Minneapolis than
Nope.
it is?
No,
Okay.
Minneapolis is 5 hours.
Okay.
Roughly 5 hours.
Because I was looking on a map. I'm not really great with maps.
Yeah.
Just ask my old commander.
Yeah,
But
it's,
don't ask.
yeah, it gets pretty quiet up there. It's a town of 2,500 people at Park Falls, the nearest town.
Okay.
And Fifield is probably, I don't know, 50, 60 people.
All right.
It's really quiet.
Well, I saw all
Swampy forest area.
the national park
Right,
and all. I mean, that's up north.
that is woods.
You know,
More
that-
woods. More
It
trees
looks
than people.
gorgeous.
It
Now, how
is.
far away from Lake Superior are you?
That's an hour and 20 minutes from Ashland. It's right
Okay.
there at Bay, Swampy Bay.
Okay.
So,
Because
yeah.
that's nice up there too.
It
Now, were you
is.
born and raised there?
Born in Minnesota. I'm a
Okay.
Minnesota boy, Mississippi River kid.
Okay.
Grew up in Hastings, Minnesota, across from Prescott, Wisconsin.
Okay. I've heard of Hastings.
Yeah, it's a river town. Red Wings is a little south of us.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a kind of backwaters guy.
All right. Is that where your mom lives?
My mom came from northern Minnesota. My dad came from northern Wisconsin.
Okay.
And they met in the mines or something like that up in Virginia. And then got a job in Minneapolis,
Okay.
St. Paul.
Well, I'll be darned.
That's where it all started, I guess.
Okay. And brothers and sisters?
There's 6 of us.
Oh,
passed-
good Lord.
Yeah, one passed of cancer, Scott.
Oh.
A couple years back, 3 years back now, Scotty died, so. He was 57.
Okay. So are you like the baby of the family?
I'm the second youngest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Uncle Dave's
cool.
the baby, right?
Is he a big baby?
He's a big baby.
Is he really?
No, he's not one.
Give me his phone number. I'll make sure he does.
That's good.
So, and now what about you? You got a sister,
Yeah.
right? Do you have any other brothers and sisters?
I have a sister and a brother, and I might have another brother.
She is.
Do tell.
Oh.
I have no idea.
Oh, that's
Papa's a Rolling Stone.
high five. Oh my goodness. So would you like to tell us about your brother and sister?
Well, my sister basically owns a farm. She has horses, geese, and goats, and
Oh, wow.
more animals than that.
And what's her name?
Selena.
Selena. And I met her when you guys were
Yeah.
here for our party, for our 1-year birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was really nice, and she was here with her boyfriend. He seemed like a really nice young man too.
He was a
So
nice kid. That's the first time I met him, so.
okay,
We took him
Me too.
fishing. Yeah.
okay, yeah. Did he? What was your feelings on him? Did you like him? Do you want? Is it okay for your sister to continue seeing him?
Yeah,
You approve?
Mhm.
Okay,
I approve.
I do too. He seemed really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, your daughter was just really sweet. I really enjoyed meeting her,
Yeah.
and I appreciate you guys coming and helping us celebrate. Did you have cake?
We
No.
missed
Oh.
the cake.
Yeah.
We saw the cake being made though, so.
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
It was cool.
Well, one of the happy little byproducts of that cake was, everyone standing around eating it and laughing and smiling and talking, and everyone had blue teeth. But it was because of the dye and the black
Oh,
frosting.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, it looked
But
black
nobody
as coal.
really realized, It was hysterical. But I noticed it and I was like, well, I'm going to save my piece for when I get home. So,
So that was a blue dye, not a black.
well, it was black, but
Yeah.
there must be blue pigment in it that was just. It, it
That's
looked like
good.
everyone needed to go to the dentist. But it was cute.
That
But
was a wonderful
anyway.
cake. She did a great job.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Great job.
I like the roses on it.
That was a nice touch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that wasn't my idea. I just gave her the emblem or the logo of the Ishkabibble, and but I think she had a blast with that. It wasn't something that you're going to be doing every single
I
day.
had a question for you. How did you come up with the name?
Well, I named the place after my car, my first car. That was the 1962 black VW Bug that I had in California.
I can see that.
But back in the 70s, a lot of people, we just, for some reason, said Ishkabibble a lot. I don't know why. And as it turns out, it wasn't just a thing in California. People were saying Ishkabibble during that time period out here as well. So some people recognize it and they remember it, and other people are like, I've never heard it before. But with the VW, I thought he looked really elegant, and I thought that Basil was a good name for him.
It's a good name for a car.
Yeah, Basil Ishkabibble. I loved him. He was my first boyfriend. But my father had bought that when it was new.
That's neat.
So, and he passed it down to me.
That's
So,
neat.
but so now Todd had some questions for you, and because he can't be here, I will be the voice of Todd. That sounds almost metaphysical, doesn't it?
It does sound.
So, and he would like to know, how did you get started with demolition work, and what are you demolishing currently?
Currently, we're doing the Brown County Stadium, and Malila was there for that actually when I.
And it came down and
Really?
there's stuff everywhere. And
Oh wow! Was it with dynamite?
No, I sheared it down with
Yeah.
a backhoe and a shear.
Oh wow!
We gutted it out, took all the walls down, and stood on columns. And then I went in and snipped probably 80% of them. And then we had two backhoes in the front holding onto cables, and I went around the backside. And we had like banks of 2. We had them numbered.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. And I'm thinking, well, number 6 probably will go. I cut number 1 bank, 2 columns, and it went
No
kind of
kidding.
spun like a flying saucer. And being underneath it, looking at it, kind of doing that, it was pretty wild. So it come down, poof, and
Wait a minute. You're watching it come down?
well, I had to shear the columns, and mine can be like 20, 30, 28 feet, probably something in there, maybe I went.
he backed up really fast.
I can imagine. Do you have footage of that somewhere?
There's some stuff in Brown County, and I got some personal footage
It was
too
on
as
the
well.
news.
I think the first one. I just got first, so I'll get the first one out. I cut the first one away from you. Cut the number 375. I see what you're saying. So there's no super on the rink.
Yeah, them guys ran good. Let's get on this side of the fence, eh?
Oh my gosh.
And then when I came down, I just started in the Milwaukee area as like I hired on for an operator in the Milwaukee area from this company, bike companies out of Minnesota that know me, know my father. And,
Okay.
And that's why I started with demolition. My father started when I was 18. I started with him, and he
Okay.
started in the '60s. So I've had two brothers doing it. Now I got a son doing it. So there's
Okay.
a pack of us. But the Bradley Center, I started that in December.
That's
Working on
being
that.
demolished?
That's gone.
I didn't know that.
That is gone.
How old was that building, do you
The
think?
Bradley wasn't that old. And it was a pretty nice. I've wrecked a lot of buildings, and that was a pretty nice building.
Why?
They built that thing pretty nice. A lot of marble was on the outside, you know, and the inside was, yeah, it was stout yet. It could have been there for quite a few years. Now, the Brown County, that thing was, it was supposed to be welded, and I cut the columns loose, and they fell off as I was cutting them. So,
So it was a death trap from day one.
well, it just was on its way out, that's for
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
Now that one, yeah, I could see that one coming down, but with the Bradley, I hadn't heard of that. I'm kind of surprised.
The NBA, I don't think wanted that thing next door. So maybe, you know, Marquette University could have used it or something like that, but
Sure,
it's gone. That's the footings of
big corporations, huh, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't trust them.
Right.
Oh, and I forgot too. Now we talked about your sister. What about your son? How old is he?
He's 28,
Okay.
and he's doing demolition as well. He's an
Okay.
operator as well.
Oh wow, that's got to be kind of fun.
It is. At times, it's fun. Yeah, at times.
So, and what is his name?
His name is Chase.
Chase. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you remember to send me the footage
I will.
or a link,
I will.
and we'll make sure that we include it, or at least have the link so people can follow it.
Sure.
So, all right. So demolition work, is that what you are going to do when you grow up?
Probably not.
No? You'll probably be an artist.
Probably.
Okay. Well, the reason that that we wanted you on was that you live in Fifield. You were working in Green Bay. Now you're working down in Milwaukee. But you guys are here in Two Rivers like all the time. This is like your go-to place, it seems.
It is. Yeah.
So,
we come here in the summer, and then in the winter we go to Grand Rapids.
Okay.
And Princess loves it there because she can chase squirrels and all of that other stuff.
oh, do you chase the squirrels too?
I show her where they are.
Okay.
I like chasing for her, and then she just says, "Oh!" And then she like looks after her, and then she actually chased a fox twice the size of her.
Really? That's the thing about little dogs. They don't realize how small they are.
No,
They're
she
fearless.
She thinks she's like 10 times taller.
Yeah.
She
Oh, I
thinks
think
she's
that's
like
cool.
the size of Nana.
Who's Nana?
She calls me that.
Yeah.
Oh.
I do.
She has from a baby.
Oh, really? Nana?
Yep.
The way she says it too. You know,
Oh, that's cute.
yeah, we tried, you know, daddy, and then she
Nana.
wouldn't, no, it's-
She was actually perfecting her no. You know how to say no really easily, right? Good for you.
It's not. Yeah.
So, what is it about Two Rivers that you guys find so attractive and it keeps bringing you back all, over and over?
I don't know. It's just
You love fishing.
I like fishing. I do fish the big pond. that's going on 20-some years of doing that. I was a contractor in the area. I did the Milwaukee or Manitowoc sewage plant.
Oh,
3-year contract, and Norris in the corner, the old boy there with the
Yeah,
liquor store. I
yeah.
bought a boat from him, and just keeps getting better and better. But
okay. And you have an RV.
we have an RV right in
Over in the
Marina.
marina?
Yeah,
Okay.
and Scott Anderson is, they're like family. There's so many people who are regulars that,
Okay, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see the same people every time you come
right,
on.
and she's got some seam, she's got some guys heckling her pretty good, so she's got some nice
I
good.
need to teach some lessons.
What's
Yes,
that?
you do. She needs to teach them lessons.
So,
High five.
yeah,
Good job.
but Weber, that's one of the people at the marina, he was threatening to roast my dog over the fire. And I did not like that.
Were you
didn't
mad?
like that.
Yeah, he's been heckling her for a couple years with that one.
Oh,
And
really?
then I slept in his bunk bed and I put Princess up in there too.
Really?
We slept in the bunk bed together.
That's
And he was just
awesome.
like, your dog slept in the bunk bed? I'm just like, yep. He's just like, he was so mad.
Well, that's what he gets, right?
hmm
Okay, good for
And then
you.
my dad brought over a fish and it pooped all over his thing. It was so funny.
She caught a Laker, her first Laker, so.
Okay.
My first Laker ever, and it was about to unload pretty soon. We walked over to Weber and it was pooping all the way there and all the way back.
He lost it, he melted down, started screaming at us.
Really?
She's laughing.
Just a little bit.
Johnny, want to see my fish again? And he went off and lit a candle.
No, I said, Johnny! I'm just like, Johnny! And he's just like, and he got really mad.
How old is this Weber?
Weber's, he's in his 60s.
Oh
70s.
my God.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
just remember, as he gets a little bit older, you're gonna have to be a little bit kinder. Okay?
I
We
know.
try.
We try, but when he was trying to roast my dog, oh, that isn't happening. I had to teach him a lesson.
Okay, well, sounds
He
like
tries
you
to
did.
roast my dog, I'll do anything else to make him not roast my dog. It's
You
just
get
like
yourself
payback.
a pooping fish. Okay. That's awesome. God.
And
So
went all the way up to his chair.
he's never gonna forget that. I hope you realize.
We didn't really try it. I mean, we brought it over
You were
to him.
squeezing it. Come on, something had to be happening.
We did try. We went over there, we're showing him, and we walked away, and it started to
Yes.
unleash. And
We didn't mean to.
No, it's you guys and your trained fish.
it was a classic.
That's funny.
Well, I've seen pictures on your Facebook of some of the fish that you've caught, and very, very cool. I'm not really into fishing, and I don't know. It's just not my thing. My husband was born and raised here,
Sure.
and he loves to go fishing, and I like eating it,
Right.
and I like cooking it, and like grilling it, grill out, and. But you can just tell in the photos that you're having such a blast out on the water.
Yeah, we do.
You
really
know.
like it. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's wonderful, and it's perfect for a kid, right?
Yeah, she's been on the boat since she's been a baby.
Do you ever get seasick?
Well,
We try not to get to the rough stuff. I don't bring her out on that stuff. I don't
Okay.
ruin her, but
yeah.
she don't get seasick.
Okay.
my belly starts to hurt and I'm just like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to puke, but I know I'm not going to.
Okay, well that's good.
We always bring Princess on the boat. She has low sea, like she walks around on the boat.
Okay.
Just like nothing's going on. Just like it's flat ground, nothing's moving, nothing's happening. She just walks on it.
Well, you probably have had her on the boat ever since you first got her, so she would have been, I'm assuming maybe about 6-7 weeks old at the time. Just a little puppy, she's used to it.
Yeah.
Kind of like you were a little puppy and you got used to it.
Yeah.
So do you guys, now you have a tandem bicycle
Yeah.
that you guys ride, they ride around town on a tandem bike and Princess is in their basket. And I think that is the coolest sight I've ever seen in my life. But it's just so obvious the enjoyment that you guys get from being in each other's company and just going out and just doing stuff.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever go on the bike trails?
We don't very often. We don't really, we've done that. We just kind of beat around town. I mean, because she lives in the country and she rides bike out there. So
Okay.
town's a big adventure. We go to the car wash, a quick trip. That's a highlight. Last time we ripped down the pier head when it was blowing so hard and it was crashing over. We were wet. It was pretty right at the sunset or the dusk or
Okay.
moonlight.
That's pretty cool.
That's really neat.
Still ripping around quite a bit, but
All right, you have to tell me more about going through the car wash.
no, that's her thing. She likes to go through there when it's not on.
When it's not on.
Oh, here I was. I thought you were going through there.
No.
We're going for the ultra, the $11 silver special.
Right, it's a building stuff there, but yeah, we like to putt around town. We go to Connie's, you know. That's
Okay.
at Phil Rohr's. It's one of our favorite stops.
Okay.
A little something snack to
We
eat.
rode there.
Yeah, tonight we rode there.
Yeah.
Princess sits in the basket looking at the window at us. So.
We tie her up to the post and then we just leave her there. She looks at us like, "Oh, you don't come out yet?"
I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
But you've been coming to Two Rivers for how many years now?
Yeah, it's 20, I think it's, my son's 28, so
Oh,
it's gotta be
geez.
24, 25. It's my third child being raised in Siegel Marina. So.
Okay. Well, I think that's wonderful because we don't, the makeup of our community is starting to change, and we're starting to see a little bit more diversity, and there's people from outside of Two Rivers who are moving here, and so we're not, of course we do lose some people they move away for job or school or what have you, but you guys are basically residents.
Yeah.
And you spend quite a bit of time here. You're not here all year round, but you know what? We have a lot of snowbirds too
Yeah.
in our community who aren't around in the wintertime.
Right.
So you guys are just as much a part of this community than someone who lives here, 365 days a year.
Right. Yeah,
You
it's,
know.
it's like family, And I really like Two Rivers. It's quiet. It's like being on the East Coast to me. It's like the seagulls, the coolness from the water. I like that the best. Is like it's never too. I mean, it gets kind of muggy once in a while, but it's like you have to be next to a built-in air conditioner.
Right.
And the mosquitoes are.
There's barely any.
There's barely any
I
mosquitoes.
really haven't seen hardly any yet this year.
Yeah, so being on the water right there, we don't see many of them
Yeah.
all. So.
Well, that's good. Well, I know. How about ticks? Have you been finding ticks on her?
No.
Okay.
No,
No
that's
ticks at all.
Okay.
no ticks at all down by us.
Oh.
There's
Okay.
no high grass either.
No, there's no
Everything's cut really well.
Okay. Yeah, because I know that ticks had become a problem closer, to the lake within it was a couple of years ago.
Really?
And it must have just been an aberration because I don't think it's as big of a problem now like it was. So, well, we're really glad to have you in the community.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy it when you guys stop in, and because you stopped in last year. We hadn't been open for very long, and that's when I first met you. And so hopefully maybe we kind of inspired her to get a little artsy, and here comes the apple, and I still am amazed at how good you did on that. So, and you still won't sell it, right?
Nope.
All right.
I get a college tuition, maybe?
Horse?
Trade up?
Okay.
No, really? Good for you.
Todd's, let's see. Todd had a question for Malila. How did you get started as an artist?
Well, I think I just liked painting a lot and it felt good. It relaxed me and it kind of got me more into like nature when I painted nature stuff, and then when I painted like other stuff, it got me like, I felt like I was in the painting.
Really? That's really cool. That's very deep. And how old are you?
I'm 9.
And when did you turn 9?
January 25th.
Okay. So that's pretty deep for a 9-year-old.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
And then what about music? Are you into music?
I like music.
Oh, Princess is guarding us. It sounds like there's people outside.
Yeah.
Thank you, Princess. But music, that's just not something that you're interested in like you are with painting?
No,
Okay.
but I just played the violin last night.
Oh, I used to play violin. I was horrible, but I enjoyed it. I was terrible. I remember trying to perfect Turkey in the Straw. It wasn't happening for me. So it's pretty bad when your mother tells you to stop. So,
That's tough.
and now, besides the apple, what are some other paintings that you've painted?
Well,
Were there flowers? You brought in a couple
Oh,
pieces.
yeah.
I brought in, there was a yellow background and there are trees,
Okay.
I really liked that one.
Okay.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah. Because I think you had brought in, what, 3 pieces that one day? And that was you were with your grandma.
Yep.
Right. Oh, and tell her I say hello. I really like her. She's really nice. She's a good Facebook friend.
She is.
Yeah. So, and then you're taking art classes, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that and what are you learning?
Well, I'm learning how to like do different strokes and stuff, and use different brushes for different
Oh.
things.
Okay. There's a lot of tools of the
Yeah.
trade. It's
There's
amazing.
There's a fan brush. It's almost like a fan, but it's really cool.
And what do you use a fan brush for?
Like grass or eyelashes or really like fur or anything.
Okay.
Or maybe even Christmas trees, you can even do it.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Oh, and how do you hold your fan brush? Do you hold it kind of like this?
Yeah, you kind of like just paint it.
Okay. I think that's fantastic. And what other things do you need? You need brushes, you need your paints, and you work with acrylic, is it? You don't do oil painting, right?
No, I don't.
Okay. Oil painting's a little bit more forgiving because it stays wet for like forever,
Oh.
you know, whereas acrylics dry really fast. I think that's why I was really impressed with your apple, because it's pretty much you put that paint down, it's not changing.
She's
You
working with latex right now.
Are you having her like paint your house or something?
The neighbor to me, a camper, older camper, he says,
Yes.
he's a fan. He says, Malila, you can paint my whole half a camper if you want. So
And then when he gets rid of the camper, he would cut out all of my art pieces.
Oh my gosh.
he wants her to sign every one of them. So right now she laid that down. She started this week actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I just painted a big, huge unicorn on this boat. It looks like it was like in the water though. So when you like put it in the water, like on my dad's big, huge boat, you put it in the water and it kind of looks like then it's like swimming through the waves or something.
No kidding.
I
It's
thought
not
it-
a little unicorn. It's a big one.
Oh,
It's a
it's
big one?
Oh, its head's about like this big. Its neck's about
On
like
the
this
side of my boat.
wide. On the side of the boat.
They'll know where Joe
The
is.
primer down first, and
Oh
it's there to
yeah,
stay.
it's staying.
That's fun. You're gonna have to take some pictures.
Yeah, she's
Do
got-
that for me, please.
She's got it.
I just painted it today.
Did you? Oh,
She
pictures
works
would
on
be
really
good.
fast.
It didn't take long.
It's I'm amazed how fast she paints or draws.
Okay.
It blows me away. And then
Yeah, I
it just
can-
makes me like, wow.
Yeah.
I can
So-
draw a horse in like about 10
I've seen you
seconds.
draw a horse. Well, you drew a horse for me last year. And that's, oh, I don't know if we can see this on camera, but that was the very first piece of yours that ever was in the gallery.
We were talking and she already made that up.
Yeah.
We were done talking.
I thought that was so cool. So there's your first piece, and it has a not for sale sign on it. It says it's priceless.
Right.
And then we have your apple. And Todd has a question. He says, what makes you want to create art? What is it about art that you really enjoy? You just get lost in it?
Yeah.
Does it just give you a feeling of peace?
Mhm.
Okay.
It kind of just helps me feel better. Like if I'm having like if I'm like kind of sad, I'll paint something like happy, and then I feel happy.
Really?
Mhm.
I think that's wonderful. Well, you've kind of found your zen,
Mhm.
you know. Oh, here's a good question. Do you have a favorite artist?
I don't know. Maybe Vincent van Gogh.
Good choice. Princess, everything's
Oh, she-
okay. She's looking.
Oh, she agreed with that.
Yeah, I don't know about that Vincent van Gogh.
You don't know him, do you?
Yeah. And now, besides Basil Ishkabibbles, if somebody wanted to see your art, where could they go see your art?
I showed my arm.
Yeah.
All right,
Why
so
not?
if you want to explain your arms. Okay, go ahead.
So, when she was 3 years old, she drew this little guy
That
here.
was pretty good, actually. for
Yeah, so when she was 3, she drew that, and she said that was me holding part of the rainbow for her. And it was on a small little notepad. And I thought, you know what? Single weekend warrior father, you don't see all this stuff in school. So I started hanging on to stuff, and And as she whips them out, there's so many more I have now. We got numerous pads that she has, but one of her selfies was with herself and Princess.
Oh, that's cute.
And she drew this one in the deer stand. I said, well, we shoot a deer. I said, she was doodling away in the deer stand. I said, if we shoot a deer, I'll put that on as well. And the first time she wrote her name for me was Father's Day of 13, I think, or 14. And then she had a flower on it. She folded a big white piece of paper and cut a heart out and decorated it.
Really?
And then she wrote her name in cursive. So just some of the stuff made. And then Stella Luna, she wrote that on a napkin. She drew that on a napkin, and like, who's Stella Luna? And then I figured it out it was a book, Blow to Bat. So
Okay.
I don't know about that, but yeah, there's I just plan on just keep adding to it.
Okay, I think that's
All right.
great.
Well, again, thank you for being in our community, and you really add to it. And I've heard people, just kind of mention, did you see that they don't say that old guy on the tandem bike with that young chick,
Yeah.
but it's that, have you seen it? Obviously your father and daughter,
Right.
but it just really makes an impression on people and makes people smile.
Yeah, it does.
It
It does.
and especially with the puppy dog in the basket, that slays me. I just love it.
Yeah, she loves it too. She loves it. She's looking forward.
Yeah.
What are we going next?
I think that's fantastic. And it really makes me feel good to know that you love our community and that you want to continue being here as much as possible. And maybe someday you will become a full-time resident.
I'd like that. I'd like to be a snowbird.
Okay.
I'd like to be down south fishing in the wintertime somewhere.
Oh, wow.
Some island somewhere.
Okay.
That'd be me. You come from college,
Maybe.
Maybe. I'm busy, Dad.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
Wonderful to see
Thank
you.
You've been a blessing for us.
Oh, I'm glad.
Really have.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Look forward to seeing you.
And how much longer can I have that painting in my gallery? Can I maybe another month?
Sure.
How about until school starts?
Wow.
Would that be okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. That sounds good.
Thanks, Darla.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you to everyone who's watching. This has been Joe and Malila, and this has been delightful. And we will be right back, and Todd will be back with us. So stay tuned.
Welcome back to the Two Rivers Dungeons and Dragons podcast. Roll for initiative. No, just kidding. Anyways, welcome back, everybody. We are here with Mr. Lee Hansen of Seeds and Beans.
Yes.
And the reason we're having you on the show is because of something interesting that happened during the big storm last week. Was it just last week? It seems like it was like 2 weeks ago.
That was back on August 1st.
Okay.
Oh wait, August
No,
1st was yesterday.
That was yesterday. That would have been
Last month's storm. So yeah, it was July 18th through the 20th,
okay.
and then on July 28th, and I think it was the 28th is when.
We had the big storm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, if you're joining us from the city of Two Rivers, this will of course be familiar to you and be in recent memory. Big power outages, a lot of trees and stuff down, during the storm. If you're from out of town, of course, you won't know about this. But we had a big storm, and there was a lot of exciting and scary damage that happened, during that for everyone. And in the course of that, why don't you tell us a little bit about what happened in your neck of the woods, here in the city? What was the situation?
My wife and I own a store called Seeds and Beans. We're a nature store downtown Washington, on Washington Street here. And we were at our shop that morning when the storm came through. And we were sitting in the entranceway to the store when the storm hit. And we were just watching down the street, as the storm came through, and we watched it started on the far end of town, and it just kind of all of a sudden hit our area, and we were just looking down the street, and I saw a flag fall that got blown down from the storm right down the street from us, and I'd gone over and grabbed the flag, brought it back to our store, and then I took it and put it in our bathtub because it was soaked. We set it in there and went back to the
back outside. My wife was there, my kids were there, and one of our tenants was there. And all of a sudden, going north on Washington Street, there were some more flagpoles that were getting busted off from the storm. So my tenant Brady and my daughter Emilia took off running down Washington Street, and they were running in the storm, grabbing these flagpoles as they're falling and hitting the ground. And they had brought them back, and we kept on putting them in their bathtub. And I was going to call them. I'm like, no, it doesn't even pay to call them because they're still, the storm's coming through.
Yeah.
And my daughter and Brady ended up coming down this way towards Basil, and there were more flags here. And they picked them up, and what was really neat was one of Brady's friends just happened to be driving by, and he picked them up, and they had a whole armful of flags.
Oh wow.
So they brought all of the flags back to the store. So we ended up with 21 flags that were taken down in the storm, and we had driven down Washington Street. I had gotten in my vehicle and driven down Washington Street. We had found some more flags. We picked those up, and then we went down to the other end of town on Washington Street, and we're looking there, and then my daughter and Brady and his girlfriend Elizabeth were down on the other end here, and they were collecting flags. So we loaded all the flags into the vehicle, and as we were coming back, well, before we had done all this, the two trees in Central Park came down.
Oh, wow.
They were in the street,
Yeah.
and cars were driving by it, and the glass from the lights they were all busted.
Sure.
So we were kind of in the street and pulling all the branches, the trees off the street and off the glass and things like that. And in all, we collected 21 flags. So we went back to the store, and I put them in our tub to let them drip dry a little bit. And then, which was the coolest thing, was right after we had pulled all this off the street, the trees and stuff, the city had shown up, and they had like 3 or 4 vehicles, and they had that taken care of in like 20, 25 minutes. It was amazing. We just sat and watched them.
Wow.
I took some pictures of them, and it was really cool.
So there are two things that stand out for me immediately about
Okay.
this. One of which was, you said when you saw the first flags kind of come down, and you said, yeah, I went out and I got it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a small feat for you,
No.
because you've got some physical disabilities.
I do.
To go out in the storm at personal risk to pick up a flag. Now, what impelled you to do that?
Instinct.
Okay.
I don't know. I saw the flag hit the ground, and that's the first thing I did.
Okay.
And my wife's like, don't go. And I just,
Right.
Yeah.
I just went and got it. And then as the storm hit more, it just, we all just, I ended up staying at the shop, and then Brady and my daughter Amelia, they were in different directions getting the flags, and then I picked them up, and we were picking up flags in other places, and it was just, it's something that had to be done.
And I'm guessing this is going to be the same answer, but you could have just called the city and said, "Hey, man, there's a bunch of flags flying all over the place."
Actually, I called after we had all the flags picked up. I called Greg Buckley.
Yeah.
And I said, Greg, I've got
The city manager.
Yeah,
Right,
the city manager, Greg Buckley. And I said, Greg, we've got 21 flags here. If the guys can come pick them up when they get a chance.
Yeah.
And we're gonna pick it up in a day or so. So what we did after the storm was over, my daughter Elizabeth and I and my son Jonah, we took all the flags off of the flag poles and individually hung up each flag in our store to let them dry, and we let them dry overnight. And our whole store, we had the 21 flags throughout our whole store.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
kind of moving too. Yeah.
For me, there was like goosebumps from the whole thing, because to see all those flags in there was amazing. And then what we did is we put something on Facebook through our store, looking for volunteers to help take care of and fold the flag, properly fold all the flags, because they have to be treated respectfully.
Right.
So we put it out, and we had a person, she had sent me a email stating that her and her 2 kids would come help during Cub Scouts and Girl Scouts here in Two Rivers. And I said, that'd be awesome. So she had shown up at our store. She had 2 other kids from another family who came in from Cub Scouts and Girl Scouts, and we started folding flags. And the neatest thing about that day was there was a family that came from Sheboygan to help fold flags.
Oh wow.
And that was just amazing. It was amazing. So we folded all of the flags. We properly folded each one of them, and we took care of them, and we got them returned to the city.
And I think I understand what compelled you. And you're a veteran.
Yes.
And it means a lot to you. If you're to most Americans, whether you've served or not, you see the flag in distress, and I think it's an automatic instinct. But in your case, you were in Iraq.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
What years were you?
2006 to 2007.
Okay. And you saw
Things.
very difficult,
Right. I did.
very difficult time for you.
We had a very, very bad time over there. Very bad time.
Right.
Yes.
But you were there for a purpose,
Yes.
and you followed your mission.
Yes.
And the way I look at it is that when you go in, you take a pledge,
Yes.
and it doesn't automatically expire at time of
No, there's no
separation or retirement. There is no expiration date on something like that. And I think I have not seen the combat that you did.
Right.
I never experienced that personally to that extent. And but I think that the flag means maybe intimately a little bit more.
You become closer to that experience, maybe, because I mean, I never served, but I mean, I think it's something that any American from a young age, if they've been brought up with any sense of civic duty, I remember as a kid, I had a little pamphlet that said how to respect the flag, and you read that, and it's like, oh, okay, you don't want to touch the ground. It's got to be folded in a certain way. If it's damaged, you got to burn it. There's like ways and rituals of, and it's not just that these are silly rituals or traditions, it's that people gave their lives
for those flags.
Right.
for those flags and for the ideals that it represents. So
When I was over in Iraq, I went over as a truck driver, and I always carried an American flag in my vehicle. It was always behind my seat. So I've got, that's like 3 or 4 flags at home with all the mileage from what bases those flags are from, which ones have gone throughout Iraq. I've got all these flags at home for my kids with the dates which base we were at, the mileage and everything like that. And then all of the flags were flown over Iraq on our base. So the American flag means a lot to me.
Right.
It really does.
Well, I appreciate you going out in that weather and doing that, and I especially appreciate the fact that your children cared and that Brady cared.
Yeah.
And I was here while all of this was going on. I had no clue that so many flag poles were busting like that. I had no idea. I just know it was really bad. And I did want to say, too, that this morning, Seahafer News, Wisconsin Emergency Management Storm Update, and they said that the public sector damage estimate from storms last month is approximately 11.2 million.
wow.
It was that bad of a storm, and I know when that came, I was out in the back 40, and you could see the dark clouds. All of a sudden, it was just raining cats and
It was
dogs.
fast.
It came on like that.
I was out in Whitelaw at the
Yeah.
time, and it was almost like somebody turned off the light switch outside.
And there was a lot of damage out there
there
in
was.
Whitelaw too.
Yeah.
You did a lot of cleanup.
We did. Yes, it was crazy.
I'm really touched by the fact that you had people from Sheboygan
Yeah.
come up to help
That
you.
was amazing.
That is, I mean, that's light years beyond heartwarming.
Yes.
That speaks a lot to character.
Yes, that was
You know.
amazing.
I wish you had called me. I would have helped you. I really do because, I mean, just going above and beyond. So we want to thank you, and we want to thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And we want to thank you for being part of D&D at the gallery because that's
always
a lot of fun.
It's always fun.
And I look forward to your wine selections.
Every month.
Yeah. So, and we got another one coming up soon. We have a lot of fun. We have old timers.
Yes.
Old timers.
Yes.
Yeah. Dungeons and Dragons, and we just have a blast. And it used to be, you know, back in the day, and for me it was like the early '80s. I think is the last time I had played. It was pizza and beer. Oh no. You talk about gourmand.
Chardonnay.
It's Chardonnay and yeah.
Chinese
food, right?
Yeah. So, but anyway, but thank you so much, and I'm glad you came down today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lee. Yes.
It was a lot of fun today. Thanks.
Awesome. And we'll let you know when the episode drops so that you can share it with everybody.
Cool. That'll be fun.
So that's where we are. Thanks for joining us, and hey, kids, get off my lawn.